Hello and welcome to day 17 of our anterior snapping hip syndrome challenge. We are labeling today as the balance challenge. So we're going to do a couple of exercises that require a little bit of balance so that we can focus on our hip stability, getting those glutes fired up, while moving through flexion, extension through the hip line kind of vibes, and adduction, abduction. So forwards, backwards, sideways, inwards, with a bit of balance, getting those glutes fired up. So the first thing we're going to do is our tabletop. In yoga it's called a bird dog. Why it's called bird dog, that doesn't make sense to my brain, but here we are. So this is going to focus very intensely on that core activation to keep that entire torso very still. We're going to come onto all fours. If the wrists are taking a bit of strain, you're welcome to go onto fists, but you just want to watch that you keep that alignment straight in the fists, or you can roll up your mat and have the hands on the edge so that the angle of the wrist is not so 90 degree, it's a little bit more angled forward. Okay, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Feet and knees are roughly fist distance apart. Now we want to be in our neutral position. We want to be careful of tucking too much. We need to have a gentle natural arch in the lower back. We don't want those shoulder blades sinking in, so we push the floor away and drop the shoulders out of the ears. Now, I want you to push a little harder into the left hand and the right knee. That cross pressure is going to assist in keeping the core activated and the torso nice and stable. You're going to inhale there, then exhale, lengthen the right arm and left leg. You want to make sure that the pelvis stays square to the mat, so be careful of lifting the hip. Then you're going to drop down and forward. The same with the shoulder. If you lift the shoulder too high, you have that chance there of dipping the opposite direction. Think length versus height. A lot of the time when people go for the height, that lower back dips and arches quite extensively, and those lower abs are not as supportive and as tightly engaged. Inhale to bring the right arm and left leg in. Now transfer the pressure into the right palm and the left knee. Draw that belly in tight, pelvic floor connected, and exhale, extending left arm and right leg, thinking length. Inhale, drawing in. That knee is going to brush against the floor. If you have to come in and drop the knee down, you have lifted that hip up. That knee will drag from about that point there all the way back into directly under the hip. So pressure into left hand, right knee. Exhale, lengthen right hand, left knee. And inhale to draw back in. If there was a tray of glasses full of water on your pelvis, they must stay upright and steady. Transfer pressure into right hand, left knee. Exhale to tighten the abs and lengthen. Keeping the shoulders out of the ears, still pushing the floor away so that the shoulder blade doesn't wing. We want the shoulder blade sucking against that rib cage. There we know those stabilizers are working nicely. And let's exhale, lengthen right arm, left leg. And inhale, drawing back in. Extending right arm, left arm, right leg. There I go with my confusions, which end up confusing everybody. And extending right arm, left leg. Length, intentional moving. Extending left arm, right leg. And in. Let's go one more each way. And extend. And inhale in. And last one. And extend, bringing it back in. Okay, so take your time with that exercise if you felt it was a little too challenging. It is a beautiful exercise to indicate where your core is. So if you feel like you're getting it down right, absolutely fantastic, good on you. But now we're going to go into our side plank. It's an assisted side plank, so that bottom leg is bent, but I want the knee to still be in line with your hip. Okay, we're going to be down on the elbow. I find being up in this position, it's quite a clammed up position. It's quite an intense angle to be sitting at. So to save the shoulder from being jammed up into the ear and that spine C-curving for days, I like to be on the elbow for this variation. The knee is bent, but the legs are in line. A lot of people put the knee forward, but we want it in line. We're going to be balancing on that knee, so that's why we need that alignment with the hip. Shoulders in line as well. Elbow on the floor. You can have the palm down for a bit of support. Now, a lot of people want to sink in, so we're not on the beach yet. So pull the ribs in, push the floor away. Make sure that elbow is directly underneath you. We're going to place the arm long on top. We're going to lift the hips up. Sorry, I'm doing it in the shortened lever so that we focus on the core activation versus getting a lot of the hip flexor involved. Once we lift ourselves up, we're going to do some single leg raises. That way we get the glute going on this side again as well, and that core needs to work harder with stabilizing. So inhale, exhale, lift the hips. We've got a nice straight line in the spine. Now my elbow isn't directly underneath my shoulder, so I feel like I'm pushing myself down and I'm going to have to course correct. So I'm bringing that elbow even more under, and then I got that beautiful support. From there, point your toe, exhale, lifting the leg up, and inhale down. And for 2. So we're balancing on the elbow and the knee. For 3, if the neck starts getting involved, look down at your elbow. Exhale up for 4. This is all about that length. And for 5, push the floor away through the elbow. 6, pull the elbow in towards the hip. 7, lengthen that leg as you lift up. For 8, everything is facing forward and square. Be careful of the ribs rotating forward. 9, and last one for 10. Bring the foot down, lower the hips down, sit up, and let's swap sides. Okay, so straight line from knee, hip to shoulder. It may feel a little bit tight getting the knee back when it's bent, but once the body's up, that, not pressure, but that sensation of things being a bit tight will dissipate. Elbow under the shoulder, leg long, knees stacked, ribs pulling in, push that elbow away. Exhale to lift the hips up, and let's go. Exhale up for 1 and down. 2, you want to make sure that leg is lifting in line. 3, if it comes slightly forward, we're not going to get as deep into that glute as we want. 4 and down. Push that floor away for 5 and down. 6 and down. 7, lowering down, lengthening that leg for 8, down, and last one for 9. Sorry, that's not the last one. The next one's the last one for 10, lowering down, hinging down, and voila. So we have done some seated hinging. We've done standing hinging. Now we're going to go in for our single leg hinging to really work into that beautiful movement of the hips. I'm going to just lift the camera. Okay, so very balancing challenged. If you need to, please have something close by for you to be able to hold on to. I actually want to do it this way rather. Okay. Imagine there is a pole running from the crown of your head through the right side of your body, down the leg and into the foot. So this right leg is going to stay directly in line with the torso. We're hinging from the other hip. We are going to put all the weight into the left leg. Hover the right foot off the floor, but keep the knee straight. Now your foot is going to lead the movement. As far as the foot goes back, the head tips forward. So I don't want to see the leg and head out of alignment. And if that's as far as you can go, that's as far as you can go. But if you can challenge that hinge, remember to lift the heel And keep that right hip square to the floor. You'll feel a deep stretch take place in that left leg. And then from there, lead with the head to hinge. Back up. Okay. It's great to do when you've got the balance. And it feels like the fight of your life when you don't have the balance. So give yourself the assistance where you need it. We're going to repeat the same side 4 more times. Exhale, lead with the heel of the foot. Once you've got the space, point the toe, hinging, hinging, hinging. Keep that right hip in line with the floor. A lot of people like to lift it. It helps them regain a bit of center of gravity. And inhale, rising back up. And again, exhale, hinging forward. Think length out of that leg, length out of the crown of your head, and hinging forward. And now I've lost count. Let's do 2 more. And lengthen, lengthen. All of the hinging is happening in that left hip. That right hip stays absolutely neutral and moves with the entire body. And for the last time, hinging in. And controlling that rise back up. Whew. Okay, that stabilizing leg is going to get so much work. The ankle, the foot, everything. So just shake it out before we go in for the opposing side. Okay, all the weight in the right leg. Left foot hovering. And exhale, lead with the left heel. Hinging forward. If you feel you're about to rotate off, tighten the glute of the leg you're standing on, and then gently rising back up as you inhale. And exhale, hinging for 2. Lengthen through the toe once you have the space. Keep that left hip square to the floor. Inhale, rising, head lifting. And again. Hinging, hinging, hinging. And rising back up. And let's go 2 more. Again, height of your movement is determined by your balance and keeping a straight line from the crown of the head through the leg. We're extending back, exhaling out. And inhaling back in. And voila, that is our little mini balance series. Even though it's short, they're quite challenging balancing exercises. They're very multifaceted, very core dominant, very stabilizing dominant from the glute side of things as well. So it's really an all-round. I really enjoy those 3 exercises combined. So play around. If you find with the tabletop you really can't extend the right arm and the left leg, then just extend a leg and then extend an arm. Yeah. That's a nice variation. And then with the standing hinge, just make sure that you've got something to hold on to for a bit of balance to give you some support if you find your body's just not quite there yet. But again, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll get back to you. But on that note, bye.